it was like, it was sad because now, see, when I still remember the day, like my father always looked up to him. My father was a very, it was people, people loved him. Like when I was growing up, there were always cars parked. My father used to cancel people when people got problems with marriages, when people had problem financially, when people, everything. My father was people. I'm saying,
People's
we,
person.
we called him my friend. Everybody called him my friend. You see, because he was people's persons. He was people's person. So now seeing him crying, begging my brother, because you see, my brother, it was his last year. He asked him, he said, please, okay, you can go after just finish your matric. But now you see the damage was already done. They were already being blackmailed and brainwashed. Because instead of reasoning, I remember I went to sleep after my father dismissed us. They promised my father they were not going to call. But now when I went to sleep, when I woke up, my sister, I went up, I went to the bedrooms. It was around 11 o'clock in the night. You see, now our family was strict. We were not allowed to go out and play with neighbors or, you see, when it's 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, everyone is inside the house, you see. Inside the house, not even playing outside. Everybody must be inside the house. So now when I woke up, my sister was there. So I asked her, she told me they left. I remember running around the streets. I ran across the road. I ran down the streets. I ran up again, calling them, crying, because I wanted to go. I wanted to fight. You see, I wanted to fight, but I'm not sure what I wanted, but I wanted to fight. You see,
How old were you then?
at that time I was, it was 1990. Yeah, it was 1989. I'm sure of the year. It was 1989. 1989. I was 10 years. Yes, I was 10 years of age.
And you wanted to go and fight in exile?
Yes, I wanted to go and fight in exile because, like I told you, I had this anger. It was not hatred. I've never hated. Even now, I don't hate. There's not even a being on earth that I hate. I could not put, but it was anger because like I said, all these things they made me grow up when I was very young. I started to reason. I started to think from the first day that my friend was shot and killed. You see, to that day when they burnt our cousins in front of our eyes. I will leave other violence that we were exposed to, like when they came and butchered 4 women in front of my eyes. It was now around early 1990 or 91 when the fighting between IFP and Thing got so intense. It was 93 when Chris Hani died, when the IFP was killing people, throwing them out moving trains. Yes, it was 1993, 1992. I remember they butchered 4 women in front of my eyes. I remember most because when they came in the group of IFP. Because now, see, Princess Makoko was a stadium. Princess Makoko, like, it's Mangosuthu Buthelezi, is my mother.
Yeah.
So now the stadium was built by him, and it was the name was given from the mother's side. But now all the rallies of ANC, if ANC held rallies at that stadium at Princess Makoko, they held their rallies in Princess Makoko because it's a stadium that was built. So now Kwamash was all ANC. So now these people came in hordes, in great numbers, like in trains of people, thousands and thousands coming from all directions. So the time the killing was so intense, there was so much fighting and killing and violence that when the group now comes in, every boy must disappear, must just disappear inside your house, hide inside your house. You cannot be in the streets because when they meet a man, they went crazy, they kill a man. But women, it was okay with women. They never touch women. The IFP, IFP, yes, Linkatha, the IFP. So they never touch women. It was only men. So now when they disperse, when they're going back home, you see now a group of people, even if it can be 5,000 and what, when they disperse now, they start to move. They cannot go out all in the same time.
Direction.
Yeah, others will be left behind. You see, like those 4 women. When they came, it was a group that just went past. A lot of them, we all ran inside. They went past. And then after that, there were 4 women. They came in running, coming behind the group. So now at our road, they were comrades because they use our road to go up. They always use that road. They were comrades. They were waiting for them. And then there was a passage. So when they came, these 4 women, they came, they stood there by us. They say, sorry, Bantabam, we're asking this group of people, what side direction did they go? But the comrades pointed them to the passage, but you see the passage is so small. I'm talking about more than 10,000 people, they can never use a passage, a small passage. Yes, use a small passage. So they point them at the passage, they went because everyone saw they were going to kill them. Even them, those women, because they blocked the road and then they point them down. So they had to go down, but they were looking up. They knew those people went up, but they had to go to the passage. So that time when we were young, my father never allowed us to go play in the streets or intersect with other kids around the area. So now, as we're standing, those 4 women went down. Hey, I just heard screams. Something told me to run across the passage. When I ran across, I wish I'd never even thought of coming to that. Because when I came, I saw a woman with a dangling hand. You see, it was sharp from halfway. This place was dangling, trying to block a panga. Yes, those pangas, trying to block a panga. Other one already chopped. They were brutal. They were chopping them to pieces. Okay, what's happened? I saw men coming with petrols and tires. Those women were killed and burnt there because I never even had a stomach to stand and watch. I just ran back home, you see. But they all were killed and died. So what I'm saying is, it was such violence. Those violences, I experienced them. It was done to women, it was done. But I couldn't place my anger where my anger was directed to, you see. That's why now, when the freedom was won now, 1994, when the freedom was won, now most black people in the election were screaming, yes, others were screaming, hey, I'm going to sleep with a white woman. Others were screaming, hey, I'm going to stay in Mshang. Others, because now that was what we were promised. Yes, that was what we were promised. We were promised that education is not important. When the freedom is won, we will inherit everything that a white man owns. You see now. So now there was that confusion. You see, when Mandela and the political leaders came up, there was so much confusion because other people were saying, hey, we're going to be staying there in Mhlanga, you see. But now when he came out, Mandela spoke another language now. He spoke of forgiveness and unity. Now when he spoke of forgiveness and unity, okay, I remember when he came when Chris Hani was assassinated, it was 1993. So now Wamashu was boiling, it was boiling, everybody wanted war. You see, we wanted our promises, we wanted war. I remember when he came to Princess Makoko Stadium to watch the people. Yes, Nelson Mandela came in 1993. He came to Princess Makoko after the assassination of Krimba. He was coming to hush down now because people wanted to fight. You see, that was the first time now where you found black people engaging, shooting one another with white people, with white police. You see, that's when IP was throwing people out of trains, Johannesburg, everywhere, even here in KZN. They were throwing people out of moving trains. It was so intense, the war. It was supposed to break out at that time. Because after the assassination of Chris Hani, and then the food until the branch entered parliament with these trucks, and then the shooting in Johannesburg of those guys, the 9 guys that were shot by the white police, the people were standing on the street. So everybody wanted war. Yes. So everybody wanted war, you see. Now, when everybody wanted war, Mandela came to extinguish it, yes, to extinguish it. So I remember that day, because now I was at home at that time. And then in 1993, I was at home. I remember that day. What happened when he came? Everybody who came back from the Princess Marco, they'd already cut their T-shirts. They cut his face off. They said, no, this was not Mandela. This is another old man. This was brainwashed by white people because now we spoke another tone now.
Another language.
Yeah, it was another language. Now, it was not the language that we were taught at school. Because now, okay, we never speak to Mandela. What all those messages that he conveyed through people to us. Because what we were told every time at school when we had memorial services, it was what Mandela said. Mandela said this, Mandela said that. It was, the struggle was about Mandela. Mandela said this, Mandela, even the songs, we sang songs about him. But now when he came, Mandela now, he spoke another language of forgiveness, a language that we never understood, you see, because now we were promised, you see, to inherit everything. You see now, I guess now it was that time when that anger now. So I decided it was that time because at that time, I remember Musa, I already dropped out of, because I went from when I was, I dropped out, I passed standard 3 in 1992. I passed standard 5, 1993. Then I went to Hillview secondary school. Secondary school. So I went to Hillview Newlands. There I schooled from January to February. I was stepped, so I moved out. I dropped out of school.
Why did you get stabbed at Hebrew now?
It's